Girl, what? Hey guys, make sure that you are subscribed to this channel. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and make sure that you join Team Serenity if you want to get exclusive content regarding all types of subjects in my shade room. You have to click the link in the description bar to join. Let's just get right into this because girl, I am heated and ready to get into this topic. Listen, I know that this may not be totally doll related, but it's people related, and I think I just have to talk about it. I mean, this whole surviving R. Kelly documentary, oh my gosh, I watched that thing last night. And so let me give you guys a backstory for those that may not keep up with what's going on in the entertainment world, because I normally don't. But R. Kelly is a singer, very popular. He was a great entertainer. I will give him that. A lot of women fantasize over him. I never did. I always saw him something perverted about that guy. And I said to my son last night when he came home talking about it, I said, you know what, I should call my childhood best friend and tell her, I remember her saying, give me that honey love. And I used to be like, I was like, something about him just looked like he just a pedophile or something. And she was like, how can you just look at somebody and say they look like a pedophile? And I just don't know. But that was just my take on him from the beginning. Anyway, no, I don't have no special powers. Maybe I do. But seriously, what I'm about to talk about is a very well-known celebrity that commits sexual abuse to minors over and over again. So if you do not want your child to watch this video, please turn them to one of my funny videos. But if your child is watching, or a child is still watching, I ask that you ask your adult, the adult in the house, is it okay to watch? You shouldn't, I don't know. But I'm just going to say that if you're being touched inappropriately or someone is making you feel uncomfortable, whether it's, you know, physically abuse, sexual abuse, mental abuse, tell someone. Don't be afraid. Find an adult that you trust. Tell someone. Tell a neighbor. Tell a teacher. Tell someone. So let me tell you why. One of the things that really got me upset. First of all, I absolutely have no type of sympathy for a pedophile. I have no sympathy for an abuser. I don't care if they were abused when they were a child and all these different excuses that people like to give people. I don't care about none of that. Get some help. If somebody's hurt you, get some help. You don't go and hurt somebody else. And to see grown women, I mean, even in my timelines, I'm shocked that people are making up excuses. Oh, I'm gonna play his music regardless and all. It ain't even about the music. I don't even know how to feel about the fact that if R. Kelly song come on at this moment, how I'm gonna feel about that song. Am I gonna turn the channel or not? So I'm not gonna even go speak on that. But the whole fact of saying, he said he was bad and he's this and he, you know, we knew he was this and we knew he's that, so get over it. No, this is somebody's child. This was somebody's daughter. This was somebody's sister. This was somebody's niece. If it was you or your family member, you wouldn't feel that way. And I hate when people like to always blame the victim and the accuser get away scot-free. How do you say, oh, it was their fault, they were chasing dollars and this and that? Most of these victims were 14, 15, 16. They were teenagers who, you know, came in contact with a huge singer, a celebrity, lots of money, lots of clout. You know, some of them thought they were gonna get, you know, some of them were doing it because they thought, you know, their career, he was offering them whatever. Listen, yes, they made a bad choice. They were children. He was a grown man. I cannot believe that women will literally make up all these excuses for this guy. Seriously, just because he's a celebrity, so what? makes me think about doggone Michael Jackson and the Neverland Ranch. Who drops their son off to spend the night with a grown man to play what? What you gonna play with my son doing what? I don't care. I'm not... Listen. Some of these people that were involved in this situation knew what was going on. They did not care. They were trying to get money. Is it really worth it? You know, that's the problem with the world. Greed is something else. People will do just about anything for money. You know, money and fame and clout, people will do just about anything. But it doesn't excuse the fact that this man did all these horrific acts to these children, video recording and all that. And I don't even think he's remorseful. I mean, that's just sickening. Just sickening. I read a post from a girl that I went to school with on my personal page, and she was basically saying, why are they talking about this 20 years later and blah 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 blah. Well, some of them just getting to be grown by now, because when he was messing with them, they were kids. They didn't have a voice, or they felt like they didn't have a voice. So yeah, 20 years later they're talking about it, and you mad? Why? Because if it was your child, you'd be all over social media throwing all types of tantrums, all over whoever, trying to get at somebody about your child. And if you wouldn't feel that way about your child, then maybe you need to be self-evaluated. I just don't get it. I do not get it. I do not get it. And to some of the stuff that and I'm still looking at some of the other stuff with Aaliyah's mom, which was another young teenager singer who, oh my gosh, she was so talented. Married him at 15. He was 27 years old, and her mom denied it at first and was saying how she was with her every step of the way, so none of that could have happened. But how did they get married? You know what I mean? Like, where were you then? Like, I mean, then there's rumors that her and her daughter, you know, was with R. Kelly. Like, I don't know how true that is, but I'm just saying, like, this is terrible. And this is not just you know, yeah, this is the face of R. Kelly. This is his story and their story, but this happens all the time on so many different levels. I mean, I hear about stories so many times where grown women allow their husbands, their boyfriends, to molest their children and act like that's okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. And if someone has been abused and someone is taking advantage of you, and you did not want this to happen, okay, you know, don't feel like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have wore that outfit. He wouldn't have never done that to me. No. No. No means no, no matter what you're wearing. If you're not wearing anything at all, even if, when no means no. And if you're a child and you're under 18, especially 14 and 15, guess what? There's no such thing as being consensual to adult. There's no consensual consent in my books to a grown, full-fledged, almost 30-year-old man. I don't care if she said okay. She's not old enough to make the decision. I mean, yeah. You got a 15-year-old and another 15-year-old child, and they experiment and they do things that they ain't got no business doing. No, I'm not saying it's right, but both of their minds is on a young mind level. But to have a full-fledged grown man and then want to justify, oh, she wanted it, she this, that. Every freaking rapist say that. And it's a control thing. Sometimes, and most of the time, it's not even about the sex. It's about controlling. They said R. Kelly, his wife had to ask for permission to eat. She couldn't eat unless he told her she could. Who does that? Why? Why stay? I understand. Some people be afraid. But please, 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 if you're in a situation, a controlling situation, a abusive situation, get help. Tell somebody. Tell somebody. That I can't stress that enough. Tell somebody. I mean, making excuses for an abuser, you know, saying, you know, blaming yourself for stuff. No. No. Don't let people make you feel like it's your fault. This whole story and the way that people are reacting to it is the reason why so many cases go unnoticed, unheard of. So many women are sitting today suffering alone, dealing with abuse and children, because they don't want people to call them out their name and say that they were being, you know, provocative, and they were being this, and they're the reasons why these bad things happen to them, because of the way society reacts now. If he wasn't R. Kelly, would you feel the same way? If it was your little cousin that's 5 years old and a grown man had taken advantage of her before she was old enough to be able to even understand what's going on, would you feel the same way? If it was your daughter that's 14 years old and this random man that's 30, 35 come and urinate on her and do all these things that this man did to these children, would you be okay with that? Because I think that people are just saying this because it's not their family. Or maybe they've never been in a situation, you know. I mean, it's heartbreaking. And I can sit here and talk about the subject because I was 7 years old once, and a family member gave me to a stranger. And this man had every intentions on molesting me. And he took me. And he took me to the woods. We were at a park, and long story short, and he took me to these woods under a highway. And he proceeded to go there. I'm not going to get into the details, but luckily I've always been the fighter that I am today. And I don't know what, but I guess I saw something bigger than life coming at me, and I was like, and I mean, I hate to put it that way. That's the only way I can put it. You grown people know what I'm talking about. And I bit him and kneed him at the same time, because my grandfather said, if you can't get away from him, you can't beat him, knee him in the you know what, below the waist. And as soon as they grab for it, you take off. And that's exactly, I don't know, that instinct kicked in me, and that's what I did. And I ran. Half of my clothes ripped. I ran and I ran. I didn't even know my way. I wasn't even in my own neighborhood, so I didn't know where I was going. I was just running and screaming, help, help, you know, or whatever. But it was older family member. It was an older family member, but she was still a teenager herself, maybe 15 herself, that gave me to this guy. She told me that he was family, blah, 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 blah. I really didn't want to go, but then, you know, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, nevertheless, I know what it feels like. And I feel like some of these people were in that situation. When I was listening to the story, that's all I could think about is, oh my God, I cannot believe that security guards and grown people just let these things happen. And I did hear that some people did try to speak up and they were paid off, or, you know, or hushed and, you know, lost their jobs and stuff like that. But the people that didn't say anything and didn't try to help or didn't try to save the children, didn't try to stop anything because they wanted to save their job, or they needed this money, you know, and all that. I get you wanting to support your family. I get wanting to come up in life, but was it really worth it? I mean, oh my gosh. Anyway, guys, I mean, if you guys have been watching and following this documentary, it's on Lifetime. They've been showing it back to back nonstop. Everybody's been talking about it. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Like, do you think that there's any excuse for a grown man to do to take advantage of young teenage girls? Do you feel like that because they were 14 and 15 and they seem to be okay with some of the things, or some of them seem to be okay with it, or they were experienced at that age, that it was okay for him to do what he did? I don't. But if you do, you know, just let me know what your thoughts is on this. And again, before I end this video, I have to say, if you are uncomfortable, if a teacher or a neighbor or a stranger or a family member, anybody is touching you in inappropriate places or making you feel uncomfortable or asking you to touch them in inappropriate places or do anything, tell somebody. Find an adult that you trust. If it's not your mom, if it's not your dad, you know, tell, you know, the principal, the counselor, your best friend to tell their parents. If your friend is being hurt and you've witnessed this, tell somebody. Get some help. Don't let it keep happening. The more you stay quiet, the more it's going to happen. It's never going to stop. And it can be a lifetime of trauma mentally after that. Thanks guys for watching.